Okay, so far I'm using a hole saw, and I drilled a hole big enough to accommodate for this fitting here. It doesn't come with this little O-ring. I just happen to have an O-ring kit. I'm going ahead and screw this on, and I could not find a good bolt that would thread in all the way nice and tight where it can actually kind of squish in the O-ring, except for something like this. This is actually for electrical, it's not really for water, but this is a non-pressure. This is actually for exterior electrical, so it's probably, you know, it's good for water resistant for rain and stuff like that. This is non-pressurized pipe, so I think it'll be perfectly fine. And I'm basically using this, you know, just to thread on the inside. Nothing's getting attached to this. And I'll show you what I'm talking about when I'm done putting this together. Okay, so I went ahead and attached this. This is actually going to be from the pond going into here. And then the pump is going to pump the water out to the top of the fountain and then back into the pond, so it's going to be a total circle. But as you can see, I was able to get a nice tight fit. The O-ring is nice and tight, squished in there. But I also have, just for extra on the interior, I started to open up the packaging, but I have a clear silicone that's waterproof sealant, which I'm going to go ahead and just do around here just for extra. I don't think it's necessary. This is not going to ever be submerged in water right here. The water's probably going to stop a little bit below here. It's just going to be, you know, water's just going to be pouring into here, but I just want to do it just because I like to do overkill sometimes. Alright, so I'm just going to show you what I have going on so far here. I got all the plumbing done for the drain part of the watering hole, and so what I have, this is loose right now, and I'm going to actually glue this in when I start doing the pond, but I'm going to keep it loose so it's not going to get in my way for when I start putting the fountain together, because I know I'll probably end up kicking it and breaking it off or whatever. But anyways, so this way is where my 5-gallon bucket is, where the pump's inside of, and coming out this way is my cleaning drain. So if I ever want to hose it off, there's going to have this little screen on the top. It's going to be shorter, flush with the inside of the pond or drinking hole, whatever you want to call it, and I can just hose it off, and then all the water go outside of the enclosure, so it's not making a big mud bath in here. This is the fountain, the top part of the fountain. The hose connects with a hose clamp, you know, and it's going to set, I think I'm going to make it kind of low. It's going to set something low. Then you're going to have your pond, you know, all in here. You'll see as I go. But right now I'm just showing you the plumbing. And when you go to the outside here, where I have the bucket, I'll show you what I did here. There's water in the bottom of the bucket because I wanted to get the dirt underneath and, you know, get it compact underneath the bucket to support the weight of the bucket. But I've showed you already how I hooked the drain. I went ahead and used the water sealant silicone, you know, used for fish tanks and stuff on the inside, and you already saw that earlier. And here's where the pump is. So what'll happen is this will be full of water just below this here, and it'll pump water obviously through the hose and then go on top of the fountain and dribble down into the pond, and then the pond will come back into here, so it'll circulate. And then there's that little filter there to kind of keep it a little clean, you know, just to kind of keep it circulating. I had the notch for the electrical wire. I want to be able to, if I ever have to change the pump, I left enough line on this, so if I ever have to take it out to clean it or whatever, or if I have to replace it, it's not going to be too hard to get access to. Also, I didn't make this, I was going to originally make this a little tighter up here, but if I ever have to change the bucket because, you know, it didn't last the test of time and I need to replace it with something better, I can always cut this, and you know, I'll have enough room to add something else later on down the road. The bucket will be covered. I'll have some kind of a small roof on it or something, you know, to keep it away from the elements best as I can. And here's the drain. It's loose right now, but yeah, just whenever I need to clean it out, I'll just unscrew that, go inside with the hose, and everything will come out right here. So that's what we have so far. Okay, so now I have all the block done. It's not the prettiest thing, but that's fine because all it's doing is supporting the top part of the fountain, and it's going to be covered with that marine rock. I got my hose in there ready to be connected, but I'm not going to add the marine rock until after the pond is started. But you get the idea. Slowly coming together. Yes, that's me tripping over things. Okay, so I had to run down to the Home Depot because I ran out of concrete. Believe it or not, this is 4 bags here. This is where we are. Still got more to do. I would have the camera rolling the whole time that I'm mixing the concrete and doing the work here, but to be honest with you, it gets really dusty, and I don't want to get all over my camera and stuff, you know what I mean? When you're mixing the concrete, you want to make it a little thick. If you make it too soupy, it won't stay together like this. If you make it thicker, you can kind of form it in. This is just the first layer. I want to do the second layer while the first is still wet. Okay, so this is what we got for today. I'll have to finish the rest another day, probably this weekend. I gotta let the concrete dry. Then, where you see the cinder blocks, that's all going to get that marine rock, so that'll be 100% covered up. Happy with it so far. Hopefully it works the way it's supposed to. And I know it looks kind of high off the ground, but again, I have this whole enclosure 4 inches off the ground, and then what I'll have to do, this is more than 4 inches here, I'll just have to have the dirt kind of go up to it like a little ramp. And I had to do that because of the way this drain was. By the time I put the fittings and everything on, I didn't have no room to cut it any shorter. Actually, right where the coupling is flush with the pool, with the bottom of the pond. So I couldn't go any lower without taking up some of these pavers and digging a hole and all that. But that's fine because I don't want it to be low. I want it to be like a little ramp to get up in there so the Redfoots don't track dirt all in here all the time. So I might put some, when I get the dirt put down in here, I'll probably put some river rock right on the edge of this going into the dirt, so they actually walk on the river rock first before walking into the to the pond here. I keep saying pond, but you know, drinking hole, watering hole, whatever you want to call it. But there you go, and I'll do some more pictures and video when I get back at it, probably the next weekend that I have open. So I gave it a whole day for the concrete to cure, and I cut the pipe down and I put my little screen cap on the end of the pipe, and I wanted to do a test run with the water And so far, looks pretty good. I wish I could have made it a little more deeper, but I think it's actually perfect for the iguana and for the tortoises. They're not going to be swimming in it, just basically enough to get in there and get a drink. Like I said, where the cinder blocks are, that's basically a frame just to hold the fountain. My plan is to totally cover that black plastic fountain, whatever they want to call that, with this stone. And, you know, I just want to get a little creative with covering the stone and maybe put some fake plants around it or something. Try to make it look as natural as I can, you know, for what it is. But seems to be working pretty good so far. Pumping pretty good. Looks like maybe an inch deep at the deepest ends as far as the water goes. And it's circulating pretty good, and that's what I want. And I don't need to have as much water in this bucket as I wanted to. Like, it started working good when it was only half full, but I was just curious to see what will happen if I fill it all the way up. Well, not all the way, but fill it up more. But obviously it's going to evaporate a little bit here and there, so to have too much water is not bad. Or there's never too much water. Obviously, for me cutting the pipe, there's some white pieces of PVC residue, but I'll screen all that out and everything before any animals get in here. Just wanted to do a test run and see how well it works, and I'm pretty happy with it. Looks good.